rewarded for it. People would find it charming. They would like you more as a result. And I wondered, has anyone done any research on that? Like, why is that? What is that phenomenon? So I went to ChatGPT and I asked, I said, here are a couple examples that I'm observing in which somebody reveals a mistake that they made and they seem to be rewarded for it. People seem to like it. Is there like a psychological study about this, or is this a known phenomenon? And indeed, turns out that in 1966, a psychologist did a study that identified this and called it the pratfall effect, and it's become known as the pratfall effect. So that's great. Now that I know that, I can research the pratfall effect, and then I wrote a LinkedIn post about it, and then I did a newsletter about it, and it's great. So anyway, I use ChatGPT for that. I am experimenting with some specialized tools for AI. So for example, is one of my favorites is there's a company, a startup that I'm an advisor to called Crowdwave. And Crowdwave, which is at crowdwave.ai. Crowdwave is AI powered audience insights research. So in other words, if you wanted to survey consumers on a specific question, then you could just ask Crowdwave to mimic your target audience and then ask questions of that target audience. You could say, I want to talk to 500 millennial moms who buy peanut butter for their children, whatever. And then ask them all sorts of questions, either multiple choice or long form answer. And it'll think like them and respond like them. And this isn't meant to replace actually talking to your consumer, but it's a great supplement to that. You're able to do it a lot more and cheaper than actually talking to consumers. But I started using it to test out email subject lines. So I would have it think like my newsletter audience. I have a newsletter called One Thing Better, and I would have it think like my newsletter audience, and then I would have it and then I would give it like 15 subject lines from that I and frankly ChatGPT thought of for my next newsletter. And then I would ask Crowdwave, would you open an email with this subject line? Would you open an email with that subject line? And then I take the top 2 performing subject lines, the two that the AI audience thought were the most compelling subject lines, and then I use those 2 as my actual live A/B test when I send the newsletter out. So therefore, I'm not just picking 2 subject lines out of nothing and then testing them live, which is what an A/B test is. Instead, I get to pre-test it. I get to test 15 and then just take the top 2 and then put the top 2 into the test for the actual live newsletter launch. And I found that doing this has increased my open rate by like 7%, which is really great.